I was trying to do like a fake burp. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Byzantian Brewscast with your host, Chaotic Byzantian Dev. We are back for another week. It is a Scorchio summer's day, and oh boy, am I bloody feeling it. There we go. I've already sworn that's going to affect the algorithm. Oh well, let's try again next week, lol. Welcome to the intro. Welcome to the Byzantian Brewscast. I have Pepsi and Diam Cadbury milk, and I am absolutely bleaking too much energy today. How are we this week? How are we doing?
I'm good. I'm in rest mode because I've had a long weekend, including Friday. It was the big Brum Bucket collection for Birmingham Hospice. So I've been
We've been
doing
collecting
that.
buckets.
So many buckets. And there's a bucket collection around the supermarkets and stuff all around Birmingham. So that's Friday and Saturday, and that was
Oh,
so busy. It's it was nice to do, but not done much apart from go to a pub with the family, shoot the breeze with them,
mm-hmm.
entertain my brother's dog for a bit, and just top of a bit of writings. I've had a bit of a creative block lately. Don't know why. You're busy, just sort of things get in
Yep.
the way. I think I've found something to work on that I actually care about now, so
Nice.
I'm back on track. Nothing like mind blowing, but it's something I'm happy to write.
Good.
Yeah, no, it's been good. Hetty the Hedgehog's been going around a lot, and she's happy to rest for a bit now.
I
Um,
can imagine. Good little hedge.
I'm looking forward to the total though. That will be nice to see how much I've raised.
Yes.
Um, Today has been very family focused. How about your week? Your week?
My week has been it's been a bit up and down. So I've been doing some work-related stuff ahead of a meeting. Had some meetings, quite a lot of meetings, and I haven't
Oh, fun.
managed to get much like work done, writing stuff done because I've been like all over the
Yeah.
place. But I've had a bit of time to rest. I managed to get my upload schedule sorted for a bit on the YouTube side of things, so I can kind of relax a little bit now. I found a rare Hot Wheels thing that I'm still debating whether or not I keep or sell because it's like basically like owning a £50 note, but then it's like, do I keep it to sell it later
Right.
and maybe make more? I don't know. Markets with these things can be a bit up and down sometimes. Like, so, I don't think the value of it will go down, but I'm not sure it will go up that much either. It's like
That's fair.
while it doesn't usually happen, they do sometimes reprint the Super Treasure Hunt stuff, or they'll do a different version that's more sought after, etc., etc., and then the value of things goes not down, but it kind of stagnates. And yeah, so there's that. I've been doing a bit of magic stuff again, as I oftentimes do. I was playing. I was doing the Ishtola deck yesterday. I had some card market stuff arrive, so my Sephiroth deck's a bit prettier. I managed to get more of the full art Final Fantasy lands, which is nice.
Very nice.
They are good, and it beats paying scalper prices for them, so I'm happy about that.
No, I agree with that.
It's like some sellers are trying to sell them for like £1 each, and I'm like, this is like a 10p, 20. I mean, admittedly, there's like, in this instance, they're more like 20, 30p cards, but from the one seller I picked them up for, I was able to pick up most of them for 10 to 15 pence, because they were like that kind of person who just goes by like what the value should be realistically, rather than just by the scalper market value. And that, I love that kind of person. They're really honest, and I'm like, thank goodness at least one of you is an honest merchant around here.
I get it. That's how I got Necromunda for 60 quid when it should have been three times the price.
Yeah. Ugh. So I'm happy in that regard. But there's not much else to report on the western southern front at the moment, I guess. So, shall we move
What's the
on to
southern one?
our first segment, Tabletop Book Club?
Yes.
I'm just gonna go grab a
Let's have
tissue.
a look.
1 second.
Okay. So this one I've got something on my phone. I have a whole collection of old codexes because I love old codexes, and what I've got is this might have been on it. This might have been in here. Oh, I've done it before, but I forget. So we'll do it again anyway. Um, so how familiar are you with Lord of the Rings after the whole Blackgate stuff?
I'm back. Just had to get
Oh, cool.
tissue to the side of my head.
That, that's right. So I've got from my e-library. I've got it's Games Workshop. One of the Lord of the Rings campaigns they did before the re-release.
Oh.
As I hope familiar with like all the stuff that happens after the whole Blackgate thing in Return of the King.
Yes.
Yes. What if I told you there's an amazing campaign which is about the Battle of Bywater and basically when the hobbits return to the Shire and Saruman's decided to try and take over the Shire.
Okay.
It's
Interesting.
it's the weird part that it never made it into the film,
But it's in the
but
books.
basically,
Well,
yeah,
books.
the hobbits basically go to war against Saruman at the very end of the book, and it's really funny. And it's got its own campaign book, and it's really funny.
Amazing.
You sound like in like that kind of tabletop game where like your average fight stat is about 3 for your basic men and dwarves. It's about 3 on average. So, the high end you're talking about like 5 or 6 for a warrior. I
Hmm.
think fight like elves it comes in at fight 5. Hobbits come in at like fight 2. Almost
Okay.
all of them anyway. Like the basic Hobbit, but they're so cheap you have hundreds of them.
Yeah.
So this entire campaign is loads of really rubbish hobbits, and the models are amazing. I think you've seen them. Have you seen the old
I
Hobbit models?
think you showed me like ages and ages ago before we
Yes.
did the podcast.
Yes. Some of them are like wearing butcher's aprons and using like blacksmith hammers. They don't even have real weapons. It's hilarious. And a few of them with bows that actually know how to fight.
Yeah.
And a few of them with big sticks. Like they're called sheriffs. They're great. They just have big sticks.
Just
That's
stick.
and they're just dressed like hobbits in like sort of old English countryside wear. And it's the funniest thing. There's a whole army of them. Oh, I love it. And the thing actually fighting them is Saruman, but because he doesn't have his Uruk anymore, they've like been wiped out. But what he's got instead is they're called ruffians. They're literally just like men too cowardly to fight anything bigger than a hobbit.
Yeah.
So they're only really dangerous if they're fighting hobbits, but they're kind of cheap and terrible against everything else.
Hmm.
It is absolutely wild. Um, but does a really good job of like it's one. I didn't notice it. It's a re-release of an older book from like 2005.
Yeah.
Basically expanded the character list and it's added not like key characters like them. Maybe they mentioned the books or a few lines and just added them later.
Okay.
This really really nice additions. There is some like key things that I really love about it. Like some of the characters have really funny rules. Like Frodo, at least the one in this book's very weird because
Uh-huh.
in the earlier version of his rules, he could use he could fight and do everything that anyone else could do. But here he is known as Frodo of the Nine Fingers, which I always think is a bit mean, for someone that supposedly saved the world. What we call him?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll call him after the thing that
I mean, I
he got.
suppose it's better than Bilbo Baggins' Barrel Rider.
To be fair, he was also which a burglar's also quite bad. Hobbits have like terrible nicknames, apparently.
Yeah.
So the dude saved the world, decides he doesn't want to kill anymore because he's got ring-based
Yeah, I
PTSD.
mean, at least
And
like
what does
the
he get?
magic
We call
card,
him
at
of the
least the
Nine
magic card for
Fingers.
Frodo is called Frodo Adventurous Hobbit and not, or just straight up
The
Frodo
Nine
Baggins is the
Fingers.
other one. Frodo Determined Hero, Frodo Sauron's Bane. Yeah, like magic wasn't mean to him. Why?
Yeah,
Why are the other
the
hobbits
thing
so
is,
mean to Frodo?
I just think it's one thing to remember about like hobbits and Lord of the Rings. It's like aside from the height, they are just English countryside people,
Yeah.
which I think sometimes gets lost and forgotten somewhere.
Yeah, I
Um,
suppose because I
is it?
suppose it's like the equivalent of like if you go to Bumpelshire in like
Yeah,
Lancashire and you go,
yeah,
hey, wait, it's Danny's tiny knob. He's got a tiny knob. You know
yeah.
that one time he was in the gym, he's getting the showers, getting changed, he saw his tiny knob. Way.
He may or may not have a tiny knob as well. It might be made up, but it doesn't matter. That's the name now. We're going with it. Yeah. The best thing is his rules are weird. He can fight as normal, but he may never deal damage.
Oh
So he's
no.
but he also acts like a banner. Has
Ah.
access to a horse. So yeah, hobbits don't really get cavalry. There's like a whole 5 models that can have horses, and they're all named characters. So that's fun. It's a really wonky list, but I love it. And also the rules for Saruman, who they call him for some reason they went by the name Sharky after Isengard. I don't know what that's very silly
Ha.
to me, but I look. I know he goes by Sharky. He's just worse off in every way. But his rules are really weird. So you know how Greenwell Wellington was always following him around, and in the game has a really cool effect. But he's really mean. In the Isengard list, Greenwell if he's near an enemy hero while
Right.
Saruman's alive, you can't target him. You can't fight him. He'll just hang around by you, being annoying. Basically, while he's there, if you spend a, a point of its might, will, or fate, it's double the cost. He just sits there being annoying, which is but this book's version of him is somehow worse. All he has is a knife.
Mm-hmm.
He's really sneaky, but um, the difficulty is if I was going to say Saruman, if Sharky has 1 wound left and he has 2 wounds, keep in mind he has 2 wounds.
Yep.
Um, Worm defects to the opposing force and must try to kill Sharky. I think that's how he died in the book. But Green Wellington just got fed up of being, used as basically a footstool. He literally called Worm. I don't know why. Worm Tongue's pretty bad, but he just got bored of the full name, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Sharky's easily the most powerful unit in this entire book. I like all the others is like a couple of named like men who are they're like the equivalent of like school bullies, and they're targeting hobbits because they have like a 2 to 3 foot height advantage. Is effectively what this whole campaign is. And it's really funny.
Oh
I
my
love this book.
goodness.
It's a really wacky campaign, but I absolutely swear by it. It's called The Scouring of the Shire. Um, I hope it's still relevant to the new edition Lord of the Rings if they bother to play it.
Uh-huh.
I think it's really funny because usually Lord of the Rings is quite epic with its battles and all about fallen kingdoms and Arnor
Yeah.
and Gondor being besieged. But this is just like the war equivalent of a has-been wizard leading a load of thugs to bully hobbits who are easily half his size, and then getting beaten by those same hobbits when they finally have enough of him.
The embarrassing end of Sauron, just like, what do you
And
mean?
it's right after the Black Gate as well. So it's the really strange place to put it. That is kind of fun. I recommend it. What you got this week?
So I've got something from a group called Planet X Games. It's a bit of a weird one.
Yes,
It's called Jungle Tomb of the Mummy Bride.
I love it. Sounds pulpy.
So the first image is like this kind of like almost like witch doctor looking great undead in like a thing
Yeah,
with some lesser undead, and there's being chased, and they're chasing a paladin. And the next picture is
Makes
like, I
sense.
guess like an Aztec ziggurat or something, which is also
Right.
like really weird. So we've got jungles, mummies, Aztec stuff.
Very cool.
And yeah, so the adventure background: in ages past, a great civilization rose amongst the dense, verdant jungles of the south. Native folk lived here, were prosperous, and lived more or less peacefully in relative harmony of the land, the gods, and each other. As the years rolled by, the worship of depraved, evil gods slowly crept in their culture, and the unsavory practice of appeasing them with living human sacrifice became more and more commonplace. As time passed, the entire civilization slowly slid into reckless decadence and vile practices until some sort of cataclysm of unprecedented of unexpected cataclysm, unprecedented, seemingly might wipe them out. Seemingly might. Okay, that. I think you might want to check your grammar here a bit, guys. The many centuries since.
Seemingly might.
Yeah. In the many centuries since, the jungle has run rampant and can reclaim the land. Makes sense. Swallowing the ruins. Yep. The city is itself now more than cracked rubble, crumbling edifices and fallen stones. All remains of the shunted pyramid, ziggurat, more like, the centre of the shattered, overgrown city, covered in tangled vines and overrun with creepy vegetation. Huge monster-mouthed doorway opens wide at its base, beckoning curious, greedy, blah blah blah. The mummy bride from the adventure title refers to Mazalisti, a wicked and thoroughly evil high priestess who was betrothed, mind, body, and soul, to the evil gods of the temple. Ooh. She's still possessed today in an undying sleep as an undead mummy, retaining her spells and powers of old. The heroes can penetrate the Forsaken ziggurats, but not pyramid, in the chambers and overcome the terrible guardians, devil secrets. They will come face to face with Mazalisti in the shattered vestiges of a cursed tomb. Yeah, so this is very, very Aztec themed by the looks of things.
Right
down to the historical accuracy almost.
On these human sacrifices.
Yeah.
I think I know I've gone with ziggurat rather than pyramid.
Well,
because
no,
a ziggurat
it says pyramid in the text, but the image is clearly a ziggurat.
Ah, fair enough, because the ziggurat is a very specific type of pyramid.
Yeah, because this is, if you look at the image, I don't know if I can copy the image itself. Maybe I can.
I can Google the thing. Is it
Jungle
like
Tomb of the Mummy Bride? Yeah. Ah, wait a minute. I got it.
I'll appreciate that.
Hold up. I will DM you this. There you
go. On then.
Check the chat. Check the DM chat.
I just got it.
Yeah, that to me looks like a ziggurat, not a pyramid.
Oh, that's a ziggurat.
Yeah.
I like how they give the pyramid a house on top.
They give the pyramid a house on top, yeah.
You know what? It's kind of cute.
So, here be plunderers, Dorag the Explorer. Hello. A powerful nobleman, baron or king hired brave adventurers to investigate the next jungle. Do the players there? What player? Danger lurking in the heart of darkness. Welcome to the jungle, baby. This is very, very pulpy. We've got a fucking Guns N' Roses reference in here as well.
Oh.
Fleeing from enemies who hot on the heels, the players will plunge into the very heart of darkness itself and are attempting to cross the jungle by. Oh, this is like possible getting started ways, right? So they could have been hired, they could just be lost in the jungle, or they could be fleeing from something. There's a bunch of like possible rumors about the thing. You can roll a D100 for other plot hooks, which is nice. Wandering monster lists for monsters that might be in the jungle. Everything from Agouti to Santa Zombies, Cannibal War Party, Swarm of Crawling Claws. That's interesting. Big ass frogs.
Very good.
Big old snake. That kind of thing. Hang on a minute. Sorry, this doorway looks sus. This doorway looks suspicious.
Does it?
This doorway looks suspicious. I'm glad I figured out how to send you images from the PDF. 9 out of 10 men can't find the doorway.
It's not fleshy enough, though.
Yeah. So,
it reminds me of the character. So quickly, it reminds me of. You ever notice how, like in fiction, a lot of races that are known for being really short build these massive doors?
Yep. The overcompensating.
That reminds me of that.
Yeah. Trope mechanic. Atmosphere setting. The social cannibal exploitation genre. Important way of making the image feel and play a certain way. Cannibal vision. TM. Okay. Being chased by angry natives is always encouraged, but nature chasing in the lost period in itself. Any cannibal savages and Gabler players are of the typical bone-nosed maniac variety. Primitive Stone Age savages painted bright colours and adorned with. This is slightly but very pulpy in that regard. It's like, okay.
A very classic adventure movie.
Yeah,
What I'm getting.
Nudity that will make even a 1980s era National Geographic blush. Oh, this is very much, very 80s movie. Yeah,
it knows what it's doing.
This is so tongue in cheek that you realize it's like supposed to be played for funny rather than being. It's not like being racist. It's being pulpy and of the era funny.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, it's being so silly. If you get offended by it, it's clearly not trying to match
so
any
got some
one
really
culture.
good room maps. In it, we've got. Oh, that's a really good image, actually. This is a really good picture of a bat.
Yeah, the art you've shown me is it's pretty cool so far.
Yeah, here's
I quite like it.
I actually love this. Hold up, let me try and get this picture out. There we go. Look at this fucking bat. Look at how detailed this bat is. I wonder who the artist is for this.
That's a bat. You can see almost every single bristle and nose bone over there.
But yeah, it looks like a very standard looking romp, but with kind of an almost parodic twist on things, but still, it's kind of like, okay, the only thing I know about the Aztecs is that song about the witch doctor. He told me what to do.
And the human sacrifice bit.
Bit. And let's just roll with that, LaMail. And yeah, but it's funny. It's funny, but it also takes itself seriously enough that it's not pure
the art's
parody.
Not joking about.
Yeah, so it feels like an 80s movie, basically. You can kind of laugh at it, but there is some undertones that are like, ooh, kind of.
It looks like something a pre-industrial Indiana Jones would happily just go through on a daily basis.
Yes.
And the title's not holding anything back. I do like that.
Oh, I found the picture of the big ass frog, which, by the way, is its own stat block. They have their own stat block. The big ass frogs.
I'm glad. Oh, that's a really big ass frog.
The tongue does look a bit penile, though. Has to be said.
I see a thumb almost, but
yeah. There's also a few side temples: Temple of the Frog, Temple of the Bat, Temple of the Snake. Oh. Welcome to Green Hell.
Oh, I love it.
There's assorted locations and encounters in and around the pyramid as well. That's nice. So you could do a whole. So if your players decide to not go for the main thing that is obviously the main thing, there are other things in here that you can throw at them. Things like geysers, acid pools, boiling mud. This is good. Terrain matters in this as well. There's like funny terrain hazards.
I do like my ground-based terrain.
Yes. I don't know what Juka is. Oh, Mushroom Man. Wait a minute. Oh my goodness. Aww. Oh my goodness. The Mushroom Men make you high. Amazing. There is literally a whole drug trip sequence.
Is that all they do, or
I think they're like an NPC group, basically. But yeah, Psychic Dream. There is literally a Far Cry 3-esque drug trip sequence that the players could go on in this game as a side thing.
This is really fun. It's 5e compatible, is it?
Yes, it's all 5e compatible.
That sounds like a pretty fun time.
The Cavern of the Crystal Skulls? Huh. I wonder what that idea. There's some magic items. The Black Blood of Tlak Lokak. Man, I love this like Aztecian style naming convention, which I can't pronounce at all.
Yeah, it's so hard to write that in English. I've had to mess about with that once or twice.
Devil Honey, Eldritch Leeches,
Ooh.
5 Demon Bag.
Ooh.
You can summon 1d3 plus 2 Dretch demons once per week. and they act as your
Oh
ally. They
God.
remain for 1 minute until you are slain, or until you dismiss them using an action. This bag cannot be used again until 7 days have passed. That's very weird. I love that.
It's a better version of Summon Demon.
But
The
it's a
devil spell.
very
No,
rare wondrous item, so it's kind of fine. A razor
I mean
vine
it's
pouch.
just a better version of Summon Demons at this point
Yeah.
because those that
Here
don't
we
know, we
go.
looked at that's what the spell does.
Oh, it's a
Carry
fiend.
on.
So the badass devil frog is a fiend.
Makes sense.
CR3. So this is, I think, designed for 5th level adventurers, by the way. I should have mentioned that from the offset. So, yeah, they're just like big-ass frogs that could swallow you, obviously. And
That's
big-ass...
what they do.
Yeah, big old snakes do what snakes do, but bigger, basically. It's just nice to have that kind of like, okay, here's a CR2 version of a snake that's like a big, massive snake. CR for cannibals, nice. CR1
I
cannibals, cannibal sub chief CR3, cannibal hunter
I like that.
CR1, cannibal wasp
Very good.
wasp rider. I'm
Very cool.
sorry, they ride wasps.
Yeah.
Nice. That is hilarious.
That
Oh, good. We get
that's
Witch
a really cool
Doctors,
idea.
Dolamu, the
Yep.
tribal chieftain, who's CR7, so quite a difficult boss. Chieftain, he also has some
Yeah.
guards, nice. Fiendish Giant Bee, Fiendish Giant Otter. These are also fiends, devils, by the way.
Devil Otter.
Giant Vampire
Okay.
Bat, Gouge Eye,
What?
Shape Changers, Idol of
Ooh.
Ill Omen. There's a lot of different, like, weird creatures in here, which is nice. Oh,
You might have to run
jungle
this.
creepers.
This seems like it's
Yeah,
pretty
I will send you
intense.
this. Insidious jungle creeper. These guys actually made a plant. You know what? You know that one creature type
Wait.
that very very fucking rarely ever gets used.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Mushroom man.
It is hard
Medium
to write
plant.
though. I think
Yeah.
the problem writing plants is that it's hard to imagine them moving.
Mm.
That really holds them back.
We've got
There's only so many times you
Yeah.
can design like Venus flytraps and stuff.
Swarm of undead piranhas.
Right? What? Oh, okay.
Unguk pygmy. I don't know what an unguk is when it's at home. An
That'd be a tribe
unguk
name.
pygmy witch doctor. And there's the OGL.
Well,
Oh,
it's definitely
look. It's the old OGL.
oh, that's definitely a tribe name.
Yeah.
Not a real one, to my knowledge, but that sounds really cool. You know, I think I can't confirm this. But I think I've read some of the same books as the people that made this
Planet X
because I've
Planet X
definitely
games, yeah.
I've definitely read similar books to these people
Well,
because
I will send this over to
I think
you, and because it's really quite fun.
it sounds fantastic. Actually, it sounds like a really good book.
Let me see if I can upload it as a file real quick. It should be under my 5e Adventures, 5th level.
It sounds like I think I forget the episode we did this on.
There you go.
I did found it. No, I did the old no, Ghost Archipelago books. One of them was just about tribes. It was super cool. It's got I think we're using some of the same sources for some of this because this is very much up my alley. Although I tend to go more hybrid than OGL, but that's fine.
Yeah.
OSR, sorry. But you know, there's not enough jungle adventures. I've always said that. There's not enough.
And the jungle adventure that they did do officially, which the coast did, Chult just felt a bit tame.
Yeah, they did a jungle adventure.
They did. I think it's the Chult one. Yeah, not of the that's no. So Wiz the Coast. I think they did Chult. Where is it?
I know there's a second edition one. I have a PDF of for some reason.
Yeah,
that is very. You have like Pterosaur Men. It's got some wacky bits in that.
So Tomb of Annihilation is set in Chult, and I think they did do some other.
Right.
So I think Tomb of Annihilation isn't just about the tomb itself. I think they have some other stuff in it.
That's okay.
Yeah.
The thing about Chult, I have done some like background reading on trains and stuff when I'm bored as hell. Chult also has jungle goblins, and the thing sort of titans, but they're just dinosaurs, which is sort of like the key thing about Jolt. It's kind of nice. Yeah, but the setting books really dropped off with Wizards of the Coast. It's kind of sad. They're my favourite books.
Yeah.
Oh well.
But yeah, it's like so Cholt was in Tomb of Annihilation, and it's literally I think it gets like maybe one chapter dedicated to the land of Cholt itself, and then you got Dwellers of the Forbidden City, Fang of the Night Serpent, then the Tomb, then a bunch. Yeah, and it's like thanks guys. Like I haven't actually read Tomb of Annihilation, but from what I understand, like Cholt is basically just glossed over. It's like mentioned and has
Tomb
a
of
little bit of
Annihilation is
detail.
like one of those
Yeah, it's
deliberate
like one of those.
player killer.
Yeah.
It's a player killer.
It's based on Tomb of Horrors, which was designed to be a player killer.
Yep, it is infamous. This I'm gonna have a read of this because this sounds real. You know, when you said big ass frogs, I thought you were joking. That is
no,
actually
that
the
is
wording
actually their
they've gone
name.
with.
Big ass frog.
Oh no, but you don't know why you glossed over this. You glossed over them where they've been tainted by the evil of the mummy brides to making them badass devil frogs, and that's in bold, implying they're somehow different from the big ass frogs.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, and big old snake also not that's at with the apostrophe and all that's the actual wording.
Amazing. I do love this book. It's like this is my first go through of it because I haven't really looked at it since I picked it up. From again, this is one of those ones I think I got for free from Hero Forge Christmas thing. It's amazing. This is so pulpy and silly.
This is a really good one. I might have to peruse this one.
I really love this particular picture from the book. So they've got a bunch of like symbols in there. Have you seen the fish? the Aztec drawing of a fish. Him. He is amazing.
It's like Monster Hunter art from the early generations where they like make it look all tribal and stuff.
Yeah, fish.
How much have to pay someone to get that as a tattoo?
I love it. It's a fish. Anyway, that's my book this week.
That's a really good book.
I would love to run it or play on it at some stage. Maybe even build on it a little bit.
I would happily do either. Because I love jungle adventures and I love anything involving strange pseudo Aztec temples and stuff. It's my jam.
I feel like Aztec stuff doesn't get enough love in today's sort of like modern fantasy
No, I
sphere.
think some people will get easily offended over it.
It's also like I feel like when people think like ancient world stuff, they think more Egypt than South Africa.
I think Greece and Rome.
Yeah, those are like the more in vogue, popular. But Aztec stuff is like
because
Aztec stuff was like popular, I guess, in the 80s and 70s, wasn't it? Like when Indiana Jones did this massive thing.
Alan Quatermain and stuff like that. Yes, I think the reason it's people default to Greece and Rome is because they wrote stuff down. Makes it so much easier to track and know what they did.
Well, I think like from what few bits of ancient Aztec writings we have is things like their food. We know what they ate, mostly, which is quite funny.
And we know they love slaves and wars to get slaves.
Yeah,
they called them the flower wars. They called them
for some reason. They like digging pits. Maybe they just like digging.
I don't know that one, but
yeah. So the Incans. I mean, Incans, Aztecs, similar dynasties, I guess. They would dig holes and put their children in them so that the children wouldn't escape and run rampant. Yeah.
Anything but parent your kids. All right.
Yeah. Of course, only doesn't work in the rainy season for obvious reasons. They did so basically. I don't know if this is entirely accurate because this was a horrible histories thing, and I know that more recently historians have gone horrible histories isn't actually that accurate, but there's the. I don't remember the
illustrations weren't.
This was from the TV show. So there's this link.
Fair.
Hi, I'm a shouty man. if you've ever seen that bit,
That
I
is
used
a
to watch
shouty
this
man.
show all the time. It's like, hi, I'm a shouty man, and well, I'd like to introduce you to New Incan Hole. Basically, it was a riff on the, the JML adverts and stuff like that.
And
They,
Barry
they,
Scott.
yeah, they were making fun of that, but using like actual, or at least what I think actual history.
You made it wrong. Holes are multi-purpose.
Our holes are multi-purpose. Becomes Incan paddling pool during rainy season.
Yeah, it's useful all year round.
Yeah. Yeah, because the Incans, the Aztecs, and the Mayans all sort of lived relatively near each other, didn't they?
They did, but they all superseded each other eventually.
Yeah. They all kind of just blended together at some stage.
I find it. I think I like just knowing how the Aztecs were eventually sort of wiped out.
Mm.
And that's like some histories paint it as the Spanish as well as the Spanish conquistadors were responsible for doing all of it.
Yeah.
The reality is really funny. It was part of it was disease brought by the Spanish
Yep.
because they're from Europe.
Yep.
Part of it was the Spanish themselves having just better weapons from proper steel.
Mm.
But most of it was the fact that the Spanish started winning battles against the Aztecs, and the Aztec there was an empire, so there were loads of villages and cities. All of them had to pay various blood tithes, literal blood tithes and sacrifice tithes, you name it, to the city. And when they realized there was somebody that could actually beat the Aztecs, they pretty much they didn't so much as join the Spanish as much as they just rebelled against the Aztecs when they realized they had an opening. So it it all fell apart because basically a lot of cities defected
Mm.
away from the Aztecs and said, "Sod this, we can have our independence back."
Yeah.
So there were very, very few conquistadors actually fighting in these battles by the end of it. They were just outnumbered by
Amazing.
the actual native tribes people. But then again, when you have an empire that's built upon blood sacrifice because the harvest was rubbish, maybe there's a reason. Maybe there's something to it.
Yeah. So that was
Sorry for
our. No, it's
this
fine.
chat.
We like
Yeah.
rambles here. So
I'm going to
and
apologize
waffles.
to the Aztecs in chat that I've offended with my gross generalizations.
We apologize to the Aztecs. We assume most of them don't exist anymore. So
If there's any other, are we dead impressed?
if you are a descendant of an Aztec, I apologize. I don't even know. Maybe
But
I guess because there might have been a few defectors that were Aztecian, I guess, that might have
but they
survived in
they
it.
wouldn't mind. They rebelled against them for a reason.
Yeah,
They wouldn't
yeah,
mind.
that's true. That's a good point. Yeah. Anyhow,
Uh,
I guess we'll
Let's move it
move
up. Yeah.
on to if they don't exist, why Death Whistle? That's a very good question, Magna Thrices.
Great question. They do that.
The Death Whistle is not real. It can't hurt you. uh,
See, people make 3D models of that. I kind of want one.
yeah, some
I don't know
guy
what to use
figured
it
out
for,
how
but I
to
want one.
make them after several thousand years. It was like one
I've
guy who was
seen
alive for
someone
2,000 years trying to figure out how to remake them. He only made them in like
saw a guy use one just to. This urban explorer, and he used it to because he saw some like teens just trying to do some urban exploring. Waited in the dark in like some industrial site. Just waited till they're right in the dark in like you see it used to be a pool and
uh
just blew into it as loud as he could.
huh.
Uh,
So,
so
I
funny.
guess we can move on to our critical fumble of the week. What do we have and has for that?
I've got an easy one. Have you heard of a game called Mind's Eye? It's come up pretty
No,
recently.
actually, I have not.
So it was supposed to be the GTA 6 killer. Of what
Right.
it's made by, and it's really not. It's really not been that. Because GTA 6 doesn't exist yet. main thing. But yes, Mind's Eye. There it is.
I was about to say you can't kill something that hasn't been born, but some people have figured out how to do that. Sorry, that's a controversial. What is it? Let's move swiftly on from that. Just
So, Mind's Eye, in short,
escape, yep.
is a. So it was. So it's made by like a former, one of the former bosses of Rockstar. It had some legs to it, but it's been in development for like 10 years.
So
And
development
it
hell,
was
basically.
yes, it was supposed to be an open world game. Then that changed, and then it turned into a narrative-driven single-player game. And it's been released, and it looks like something you see on the 360, which I like the 360, but
yeah,
not in 2025. And it's the reviews are panning as saying it's mostly cutscenes for the first 2 hours, and some people are suggesting that maybe that was deliberate, so that when people buy it on Steam, it's harder to refund.
Oh, so it's the Blaz Blue of GTA likes, basically. Fucking too much
Effectively,
cutscene.
it,
Oh.
the developer is Build a Rocket Boy. And apparently, to make it worse. This is their first game, and it released 10th of June. So this is the recent one. It's not gone well.
Hold on, I'm gonna look at the.
They
Oh my goodness, that face.
Yeah, have you seen the face? Yeah,
So the
it,
main
it looks a
character,
little.
I mean, I'm looking at one particular screenshot here, but he looks gormless. Can I say gormless? I'm going to
How does
assume I
does
can say gormless. That's not that offensive. This guy looks like so, he's tearing off into spray. Oh, this guy is
he
just
does a
having like the
bit?
Arnie face. Um, I will say though, I don't know what this car is, but I do like this muscle car. I am a bit of a sucker
Oh
for
yeah,
muscle cars. Like, this game doesn't look bad other than the faces, but it doesn't look great either.
it doesn't look like it was made this year. What a lot of people have been taken away from it.
Yeah. Which doesn't
Um,
necessarily have to be a
oh,
bad thing if it's an indie studio, but with a former
this is
Rockstar
not.
dev as, like, the main guy, yeah, you'd
Yeah,
think that it would be better than that.
it really should have been, but yes, it's and to top it up as well, there's been articles by some of the staff, well, some of the people that are still trying to defend the game, saying, "Oh, it's clearly being review bombed." So rather than everyone take responsibility for pushing out a game too early, they're just they'd rather point the finger at anybody else. So that's always a good look.
Mm,
Which is, I love that. But yeah, that's Mind's Eye. There is most of the videos I've seen about it are how awful it is. So
yeah.
I can't agree with them. Just looks unfinished. What have you found this week?
So, this week's Critical Fumble is a bit of a weird one. Um,
Right.
so my critical fumble this week is to do with actually Forza Horizon 5. I found out there's a
Yes.
really annoying bug in the game. So, Forza Horizon 5 is a game largely about discovery using cars, obviously. So, you go drive around Mexico, do events, stuff
What?
like that, and you discover things as you go along. Slight problem. My
Right.
game and many others are stuck at 56 out of 57 landmarks because there is a bug where one of the landmarks doesn't get tracked. Or rather, it doesn't get added to the tally. And therefore, you
Okay.
can't yet. A lot of people are still stuck. They can't get the achievement for meeting every landmark in the game, despite the fact they've done so. So many people have been looking around looking for the 57th landmark, only for them to be told by other players, yeah, you probably already found it at some point. It just didn't trigger it. It's
Yeah.
like great. That's lovely. So for like ages, I was like thinking to myself, I had basically been gaslit by a video game. I have been gaslit by a video game.
That's new.
Is it
How many
Hogwash
hours did you
Legacy
put in before you
irredeemable or
found
is it
that one out?
Cyberpunk redeemable? I would probably err on the Cyberpunk redeemable if they, I would assume if they limited down the cutscenes a bit and maybe improved the graphics and get a little bit, just do a graphical patch, it probably would be fine from what I'm seeing. But yeah, Forza Horizon 5 has a silly bug.
That's fun. How many hours have you put into the game up until this point to find out now?
In terms of specifically looking around for the last landmark that I could find, I think I must have spent 20 odd hours just trying to look for the last landmark.
Oh.
Yeah, 20 hours of my life basically wasted. Thanks, game. I only
Cool.
found out on one of my streams this week because I happened to mention not knowing what the 57th landmark is, and one of my main viewers, shout out to Tycho Nova, was like, "Oh yeah, that's a common bug. It's not you, it's a bug."
That's a common bug. Oh, good to know.
That's good. It's like they might patch it. There's hope that they will still patch it at some point. So hopefully they'll fix that. Yeah, that's my critical fumble for the week. For once,
That's
it
fun.
wasn't
I love it
Wizards.
when. Yes, but we should have a little tally every time it's not Wizards.
I think we're on like 3
Cool
weeks
idea.
where it hasn't been Wizards. Not in a row, but just in general.
Yeah, well, if we do it in a row, we'll never.
Oh no! If I did it in a
anywhere.
row, we could do the whole like the Simpsons signpost gag. You know, the so many days without an accident. We just keep going. Reset the clock.
Not mentioning Wizards.
Eventually, we can see what their record is. We can give them a personal best.
Well, I
Record
like that.
for most consecutive weeks without. I'll try and do that for next stream. We'll get like a little image thing, and I'll just update it each time Wizards isn't mentioned consecutively, and then each time it is, go reset the clock.
It's like a school report, but it's a massive corporation.
Yeah. So on to homebrews then. What have you cooked up for this week's? I believe it was random book.
Let me get it. I've got a sentence. It was bizarre sentence from a book.
Yes.
Or something like that. I picked the Eye of Argon because that is full of weird sentences.
Amazing.
And I made a fully playable player race because I want to. You need a very forgiving DM for this one because it is wacky and I'm not sure very effective. But it fits it fits the story. So you can play as an accordion, spelled ECK, accordion. When I wrote this, I didn't commit to it all the way, but I wrote it like the original author did. So if I put in any mistypings, I did not correct some of them.
Oh my goodness.
But just like the book, so if it seems like this is poorly written, it is partially, but it's also because I was trying to keep true to the spirit of the original story.
This makes sense.
So this is like a brief descriptor of what an accordion apparently, according to the book, is. They're a mountainous race of people known for their hoarse battle cries and long squeeze bodies. Unlike most humans who have a desire for battle, Flory, no, sorry, I said cries, I said Ceres, battle Ceres. Flory and have a dizzying array of eldritch mutations. Some proudly sport voluptuous shocks of fiery hair or flaming lips. Most, however, are forced to begrudgingly deal with having a rotating right arm, semi-sentient longsword wielding loincloth, or the innate ability to swivel, or swillive. I actually added one that had mistyped swivel. That's fun. Accordions have a warped sense of time, darkness, and civilized society. They yearn for the sun to the point where darkness robs them of all concept of space and time. A mere 5 minutes is enough to drive them to fits of complete despair. Their minds swerve and tumble into infinite pits of eternal misery when the mother sun is deprived of them.
Deprived, lovely.
That's, again, typo straight from the story.
Yeah.
Each and every accordion is a trained warrior full of fury and experience in unconventional movements and tactics. Their herky-jerky movements are unnerving to city-bred dogs who can't perceive the wild mountain-bred swings. Out of breath. This violent nature is why most die in battle or end up in the jails of seraglios and chateaus all over Mongolia.
Amazing.
Written like the book. I had to do it. And now for the mechanics of it. They all have fear of the dark, rotating right arm, and squeezebox body traits, and they can pick a few more others. So the main ones are fear of the dark. If you spend more than 5 minutes in total darkness without the light source, you automatically fail a save against the frightened condition. You just become afraid. You can't even attempt it. Nope. The light source must be within 20 feet of you. If once the save is failed, you'll be within 5 feet of a light source, or you were just frightened. It's all just forgotten what time is. Rotating right arm, you can make a single weapon attack as a bonus action, but it's always at disadvantage. Sort of like a backswing, I guess.
Yeah.
And squeeze box body, you have a reach of 10 feet. You can also stretch yourself to be large size, but you don't get any of the benefit of being large. Just make yourself big. That's it. Also, while you're doing this, it is like a musical accordion body, so you have disadvantage on stealth, because I thought that'd be funny. You can also have bronze hide. You have an armored AC of 11. Flaming lips. You can make the unique Flaming Lips action, which is a strength-based action that does 1d4 fire damage.
Nice.
This one does nothing mechanically, but it's funny. Shock of fiery red hair. You have just perpetually glossy red hair. It's just, you don't have to wash it. just get that. Now here's where it gets interesting. Silval, Swilliv, and Swilval all do different things, or similar things for different effects. So if you Silval, it's an action. You attempt to duck. Again, if you're the target of an attack, if it hits, the attack gets disadvantage, but if it hits you, you take an additional 1d6 damage. If they miss, you may use your rotating right arm to make an attack against them. That's Silval. Now Swaliv is you dodge to the left and move up to 10 feet to the right, 10 feet to the left. You know what? I've mistyped this, but it's so much funny this way. No, you dodge to the left and move up to 10 feet to the right. I'm keeping that. Any attack against is at disadvantage. It's like dodge with extra steps. And then there's Swilval. As an action, you can attempt to dodge to the right, 10 feet, up to 10 feet, and this one actually is to the right. An attack against is disadvantage, but you must move the full 10 feet. If you hit a wall, you take 1d6 bludgeoning damage.
I love
Swallowing. Finally, swallowing is fun. This weaponized loincloth. You have a loincloth that can hold use a single weapon that weighs 3 pounds or less.
Amazing.
So that it's technically playable, but I don't know if there's a DM alive that would be completely cool with it. So that's what.
Speaking of things that are weird and technically playable, but no DM might really be cool with, I've created a new school of magic this week, or rather, technically it's a school of magic that sort of already exists, just outside of D&D. Apparently, tyromancy is a thing.
Oh.
So tyromancy is cheese-based divination. And this comes from the Book of Witchcraft and Magic. which contains my book line that I went for, which is from that popular Tumblr, Twitter, whatever meme. You may fascinate a woman by giving her a piece of cheese.
All right. So, what's like the core spell of Tyromancy?
So, I've made 5 spells. So, we've got the...
Okay.
So, this is the Little Book of Tyromancy, a handy short list of spells for a newly discovered school of magic by Seamus Little Shio Gorath.
Okay.
No guesses for what that joke is. So our cantrip is a cantrip for the wizard and the artificer called Easy Cheese Spray. If you've ever seen the Easy Cheese.
I know Easy Cheese.
So it's an action, has about the same range as Eldritch Blast. It's one target, components visual, semantic, and material. Here it's a half pint of cream. Duration instantaneous. Obviously, you don't need to use the material because it's not cost if you have an arcane focus. Choose a target you can see within the range. That target must make a dex save. A failing save, their speed drops by 5 feet. They have a disadvantage on stealth checks versus creatures with the keen smell ability till they spend an action to clean themselves off. You are literally squirting cheese at them. Yeah, you were literally squirting like cheese at them. That like liquid cheese.
Okay.
Our second spell, which is a first level Tyromancy, is called Good Cheese, which is for Wizard and Warlock. And it is effectively a variant of Goodberry, except you make only 5 triangular segments of cheese, then views with magic. Yeah. A creature can use its turn, the whole turn, to eat 1 piece of cheese. Eating the cheese restores 1d4 hit points, and the cheese provides enough nourishment to sustain a creature for 1 day. And similar to Goodberry, they lose their potency if they are not consumed within 24 hours of casting the spell. So it's better and worse than Goodberry, basically. Not so great in combat, but it does each piece heals you for more, and overall you get more value out of it. It just takes a lot longer to eat them, because instead of eating a berry, you're eating an entire, like, hand-sized piece of cheese. And I don't mean like a tiny cheese triangle, I mean like palm-sized. Like, a piece of a true wheel.
No.
You're eating an entire, like, haunch of cheese.
That's like Skyrim logic.
Yeah, exactly. That was the joke. Our second level spell is Holy Cheese. This is for Cleric, Paladin, and specifically Celestial Warlocks. Has a casting time of a minute, range self, see text, visual, semantic material, a page of a holy book with a hole in it. Duration instantaneous. This also just creates cheese, but it's different cheese. You create a single piece of garlic Swiss cheese. It's enchanted with I've put hold. I've hold and divine magic. Holy in divine magic. If ingested by a fiend or undead creature, that creature takes 66 radiant damage, no save. If a cleric, paladin, or celestial of a good aligned god eats the cheese, they gain advantage against Tyromancy school spells for 24 hours.
It is clearly an overpowered spell list.
When you upcast this spell, you create another piece of holy cheese for each level upcast. The segment saves a potency of the not consumed 24 hours. The third level spell is perhaps the funniest. It's called Fascinate.
Oh.
Warlock, Bard, and Wizard. Casting time, 1 action. Range, 5 feet. Target, 1 female target. Yeah.
Oh, right, yes.
Visual, semantic material, half pint of cream. 10 minutes concentration. You give a woman a piece of cheese. That target must make a charisma save. On a failed save, that target is charmed by the cheese for the duration.
Not you.
Yeah, it's charmed by the cheese.
Not you.
The target will stare in awe at the cheese, only taking actions to protect the cheese. When upcasted, the duration increases for 10 minutes for each level upcast.
This might actually work on certain monsters.
Yeah. So it's actually very powerful because they don't get to repeat the save, but the use case of this is extremely narrow.
Right, okay.
Because an attack against the creature will be considered an attack against the cheese. You would think.
Right. Okay.
So if you want to just like leave them to it and run off, you could, because they will just spend their time looking at the cheese.
I've just
It's
had a
great for
thought. This is
Medusas.
very
So
silly.
it could work on Medusas, and basically not much else. Female zombies,
Is this
maybe.
species? Is this species specific?
No, it's gender specific.
No, cool. Because I'm checking. Because technically, this works on Tiamat.
Imagine like that, like Tiamat, she's run out of legendary resistances, and you just present her with a piece of cheese.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make that canon that happened at least once.
Like the equivalent of going to a cat. But it somehow works.
Our third level spell, one of our other third level spells, is called Cheddar Morphing. This is for Sorcerer, Druid, and Artificer. Casting time 1 minute, but it can also be a ritual if you have the ritual caster feat. 15-foot radius centered on caster. See text for target. The component for this one, visual SM, a thin slice of mild cheddar. Duration instant. You turn the affected terrain under you into a cheese of your choosing, and the area becomes delicious terrain. I have described.
What does that do?
So you can eat a 5 foot by 5 foot by 1 foot tile of the ground as an action to gain 2d4 plus 1 hit points, but that area then becomes difficult terrain. It goes all like gooey and horrible, basically.
So you have to cast the spell first.
Yep.
Then you have to. So then you have to eat it to make it difficult terrain.
Yes. So it's a healing spell. It's a third level healing spell with weird upside.
You combined mold earth with a healing spell. Somehow.
Yeah.
With
when
one extra
upcast,
step.
it can radius increase of 15 feet for each level upcast. So in theory, again, that's like you can increase the healing amount by 64 plus 1. In theory, in total. And you can do it as it's like you're basically creating magical healing potion cheese that you have to eat. It's very weird, but
you have to eat. It's not an option.
Well, I mean, if you want to gain the hit points, you're gonna have to eat it. Yes. And the last spell is actually a combat spell. It's called Flesh to Cheese.
Oh. Flesh to cheese.
For Wizard, Warlock, and Sorcerer.
Delicious.
1 action, 60 feet, 1 creature can see within range. And it's visual, semantic, but no material, because the material is their flesh. Up to 1 minute. You attempt to turn 1 creature you can see within range into cheese. If the target's body is made of flesh, the creature must make a con save. On a failed save, its flesh begins to transform. Successful save, the creature isn't affected, but it takes 1d8 necrotic. A creature restrained by this spell must make another con saving throw at each at the end of its turn. If it successfully saves against the spell 3 times, the spell ends. If it fails, it saves 3 times and is partially turned to cheese. Its speed is reduced to half for the duration. The successes and failures don't need to be consecutive. Keep track of both until the target collects 3 of a kind. Another creature may use an action to eat some of the cheesified flesh, healing 3d8 hit points. If they do so, that creature takes the same number as force damage. So again, the whole idea with this Tyromancy school is it's a healing-based school, but it's like the healing isn't great, but it also does something else as well, whether it be damage, whether it be making terrain weird, or be it something that could potentially damage vampires, etc., etc. So it's very weird. It's a very weird. The idea is the school doesn't know what it wants to focus on. Basically, it's like, why do you want to have so many healing spells with weird upside?
I like the fact that you made a spell that works on Tiamat.
It's just the strangest way.
100 cheese. What?
Huh? All of this, by the way, from the you can fascinate a woman by giving her a piece of cheese. I might add some more
No,
spells to this at some point, but for now, this is it for the Book of Tyromancy. I'll
there's
post
definitely a
it.
bored gnome wizard that came up with this one.
Yeah,
This is, I'm
yeah.
imagining this.
It's just some
The more I think of
fey
it, the best
bullshit.
part. Sorry,
Some fey
sorry about that.
bullshit.
The
Go on.
best part about that sentence is actually that you may fascinate with a piece of cheese.
Yeah.
It's
No
it's not a
guarantee.
guarantee. It might not.
It might not work. Oh.
The implication that whoever wrote that has been trying this and had at least one success.
Oh, amazing. I love it. So, on to, I guess, skirmish report of the week. Do we have any? Have you been playing any good? Have you done any good matches lately?
I not particularly. Um, I like no, but I've been playing through some older stuff though. Managed to
Nice.
get um managed to I've have a PSP emulator now, which is a
Ooh.
lot of fun. I managed to get Monster Hunter Freedom Unite working somehow. What I failed to do, however, is get my PS4 controller to operate like a PSP. Um,
Nice.
because you can get the camera to work on the analog sticks, but something I've keyed it to also makes the camera keep spinning around and the character keep walking around in circles. I don't know what I'm doing wrong there.
Oh.
But I'm willing to try it again just to not have to play Monster Hunter the older games with the old way of controlling the camera because it was a bit of a pain in the bum the first time.
Hmm.
I'm sure I'll get there. Oh, there is another thing I've been doing. I've been messing around with Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Tag Force because it's a really
Nice.
fun game to just kill time with. Found out there is been looking a way to get some of the booster packs, and there's one of them which is really funny. It's just all the first generation cards.
Ooh.
Um, you're never gonna. There are some weird ways to get some of these. This one's got a really silly one. You have to lose 10 consecutive duels for it to appear in the shop.
I think there's like one of those in every game. It's like what? It's just the pity pack. It's like very funny.
And so I did it just for completion's sake. Then got really lucky with with the draws because I brought like the in-game equivalent of like 40 packs to make sure to get something decent.
Yeah.
And I got was it yeah, Mirror Force. But it's
Nice.
in an official tournaments, an official like academy duels anyway, you can't use it.
Oh, banned.
Yeah, it's banned in game. I was so annoyed. So,
Yeah, like I remember that ages ago. Yeah, it was banned for a while. Then it came back at one, and it was at one for years. And then eventually, like there was just better removal, and so it came back up to
yeah,
three. And then fucking Darkhold was the next thing to come off the ban list at one. And then it went back up to two, and then I think went back to three. And then they unbanned Regeki, and I was like, what the fuck?
they can't make the minds up with this
Yeah.
ban list. That's what I'm getting.
Well, it's think well no because this was like years and years and years and years ago basically.
Yeah,
So it's like Regeki's not that good anymore. I mean, it is good, but it's not like a you instantly win the game good anymore. Particularly against certain decks, they just go, "Thank you for destroying my monsters." Proceeds to chain 5 effects.
yeah. I have found some. I'm not saying the game's making me good at modern Yu-Gi-Oh because it's going off GX era rules.
Yeah.
However, I'm getting quite some cards being out were quite nasty, like Guardian Sphinx. It's quite a
Yes.
weird card, but it's really funny.
I
Uh,
remember building. I think it was like Rock Prison way back in the day. This was like this is like mid XE's era, but it was still good then.
yeah,
So it's like all the good Sphinx stuff. So cryo that and
yeah.
that Sphinx,
Hmm.
Exiled Master of the Guard and stuff like that. An Ordeal of a Traveler, It's like, even if you somehow manage to build a board state and something gets through, it's probably going to go back into your hand unless you can guess the cards in my hand correctly.
Oh, that's mean.
It's like, is this a monster,
It's
spell,
do
or a
that in game.
trap? Bearing in mind I run a good amount of all three. Good luck.
Yeah, it's a really funny card. When you get it going, all it does is you got to flip it face down, then flip summon it, and everything. Every monster card on the other side of the field just has to go back to the hand.
Yeah, and
You
what you
can
can,
activate it
yeah.
every turn.
And what I did with that is I ran some self-milling effects like things Needlebug Nest and stuff like that. So you would mill rocks to the grave, then do some like Phoenix Feather or something like that to get back a card called Mega Rock Dragon. And then you'd banish all
Oh
of your
yeah,
rocks from
I
grave
know
to
it.
summon a massive Mega Rock Dragon and just hit your opponent's empty board with it and they'd just die. Very
You know, I
funny.
think I pulled that from one of the booster packs too. I'll have to try that. See if we
Yeah,
can pull that off in game.
experimenting with Mega Rock Dragon is very fun because even if you can't summon him very powerfully, he is still a free special summon, which is very
I'll
relevant
keep that in
in
mind.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah,
Another one I used in that when it came out was Block Dragon was a good card at the time. I mean, that's a much newer card than, GX Tag Force, but it was, you can banish
that's
2
fine.
rock special, summon it from hand. Then you banish stuff from grave and bring it back to the field. It's a very annoying card to deal with, to the point where it got banned, and it's still banned because of shenanigans you can do with it in modern Yu-Gi-Oh.
Ooh,
There are rock
that's
shenanigans you
good.
can
That's a
do
good
with it,
sign.
which is very funny. Sad, because I love that deck, but very funny. It's funny that basically the
Can't.
Lego Dragon got banned.
I think I picked that one up as well in game. It's fun.
Oh, there's Lego,
One
there's
very
the
similar.
Block Golem. Is it Block? No, Block Man
Yes.
might have been the one.
Yes.
Yeah, because Block Dragon and Block Spider were XE0. It's kind of weird that Block was an archetype, but not really. Because
Yeah.
Block Man and Block Golem and Block Dragon are rocks. But Block Spider is an insect. So it doesn't work with other block cards.
Oh,
Fuck knows why.
card games love their weird. They're weird
Yes.
card types. Don't make any sense.
Yeah, speaking of card types, I remember the skirmish point I was going to go with is that, you had your first proper Magic game in ages
I did.
a while ago, and
I
almost beat me with elementals. It was very scary.
we were a little worried about Damien's deck though for most of it.
Yeah,
I must admit.
and then I just like went
So
lol. I couldn't get past your blocking boys for ages. If you'd managed to like combo off
yes,
and blow up my board, I
you
would've
you
been
made
very
a real
scared.
mean deck there.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't die. You would keep summoning elemental tokens,
Yep.
but it couldn't kill you because you'd lifelink too much.
Yeah, it's like yeah. But it was fun, and I'm glad you enjoyed that because it was a good
I
game.
did. Apart from my first hand, which was abysmal.
Yeah,
So
it happens. That happens in Magic sometimes. But yeah.
have you been up to anything else aside from that Magic game or anything from the Friday?
So I was doing Magic Friday, so I did play Y'shtola. I played my Mr. House deck and rolled some dice.
Oh yes.
That deck is all about rolling dice. So,
Oh, the Joey Wheeler deck.
yeah. So what Mr. House does is he says whenever you roll 4 or higher on a dice, you create a 3/3 robot token. Whenever you roll a 6, create a treasure token. So you really want to roll high numbers on dice. The unfortunate thing is that there are cards in the D&D sets, but you don't roll a D6, you roll a D20.
Oh dear.
So with those effects, you were triggering Mr. House's effect most of the time. Which which is very funny. To the point where I actually need to
If I
get
can-
more Securitron tokens for the 3-3 robots, because with that I like to represent the individual tokens, rather than just putting a dice on there to show the tokens amount. Because I like to make my board presence look more intimidating.
Instead of like you could make your own, have like a Securitron token with like a goose face or something on this little screen.
Yeah. That would be quite funny, actually. Thanks for that idea. But yeah, so there's things like that. Yeah, so there's like barbarian class, and there's a guy called Vril from one of the D&D sets, which allows you to re-roll. Well, not re-roll. It lets you add another dice and drop the lowest, basically, to even further the odds in your favor. It's not the strongest deck, but it can pop off with things like Ancient Copper Dragon and stuff, which rolls. I think it's like, yeah, Ancient Copper Dragon rolls a d20 and makes a number of treasure tokens equal to the result, basically. And so you can potentially make a load of treasure, use Misthouse's second ability, so you pay 4, roll a dice, plus more dice for every mana from a treasure used to activate this ability. It doesn't actually do anything, but obviously, if you roll 4s or higher, you are triggering Mr. House's ability, basically. And again, with rerolls, you can potentially make back your mana and have robots on top.
Ooh,
and with token doublers, that becomes even more stupid.
That's fun.
Yeah, so...
does the card art have his, like, the image he always has on the TV screens, or is it like the actual Mr. House who's like 200 years old?
Both. I will show you the
Cool.
card. I will show you the card. It is very much both. It is actually almost comical. There you go. Here's the card, so you can read the card, which explains the card.
That does what it do. Oh, you're right. Yeah. Okay.
What do you mean you ate the platinum chip? I ate it. You dunce. So yeah, that's Mr. House. I think I also played a game with the Sephiroth deck because it's my strong deck. So whenever people start bringing out stronger decks, which does happen sometimes, I break out the Sephiroth because I think that's at the moment my strongest deck by a significant margin. Just because it actually deals with threats like all the time because it is a removal based deck.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my skirmish report for the week, and closing thoughts, I suppose.
Definitely, I'm going to say more than 50% non-native settings now. Also, this deck seems really weird. So you just make robots or get treasure.
Yep. And treasure, basically, treasure is mana, basically. So you can tap and sack treasures to make mana.
Okay, they renamed it, didn't they?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Which is quite useful. And so the deck is very treasure focused. So the deck is like dice related with a treasure sub theme, basically.
Fair enough.
Oh, it also has attractions in it. The deck is the only deck that I own that actually technically has an extra deck. So attractions go in a side deck called your attraction deck, and you play them whenever a card tells you to open an attraction. And they are literally rides. So they are rides and concession stands and stuff. Okay. And at the start of your main phase, before you do anything, you roll to visit your attractions. And if you roll if the number you rolled matches one of the lit up bits of the attraction thing, you visit that attraction and the effect goes off.
All right.
The only reason I play them is because it's a dice-based mechanic, so it makes sense, and also it does kind of fit the theme of New Vegas because it has rides and stuff, I guess. The New Vegas Fun Fair.
I was more going to ask, are the rides vehicles, or if they're rocket shaped, are they
So they
spacecraft?
are artifacts. None of them are vehicles. They are artifact attractions.
That makes
They are
sense.
in fact a
Yay.
different. So look at, for example, here's Spinny Ride. Yes, that's what it's called.
Spinny ride? Okay.
Yes, this is
Right,
from the
let's see.
Unfinity set. So they decided to make some of these actually legal cards, basically. There you go. So Spinny Ride is one of the more tame ones. It just taps a creature. And here's Clown Extruder.
Oh, I don't want to ride that one.
Oh, it's not something you ride. It's so not all of them are like necessarily rides, but they're like, you go visit them. So this just makes clowns. Literally, they are clown robots. And so I made a token which looks like Geru Tornado from Ace Attorney because Clossy.
Oh god. Have you seen the AI, the Google Translate, the Google Translated Phoenix Wright case?
No, I haven't. That sounds amazing.
You should probably find some time. That's very funny. Well,
I'm
they
gonna have a
produced.
look at that.
Well, that's very random. But see what they're going for.
Yeah.
So how much would it cost you for one white clown robot token if they do those?
It doesn't. They're not expensive. They came in the
Okay,
set, so it's not
okay,
difficult
that's
to
right.
get the clown robot tokens. I just made my own custom one because funny. I just saw that
imagine
because
that
this is the
someone got
first set that introduced clowns as a creature type.
right.
So it's like
Your magic
clown.
needs more types. That's just what I'm picking up.
Yeah.
So I'm just imagining someone who's like really keen on this card only and just needs an excessive amount of white clown robot artifact tokens.
You say that as if Clown Tribal isn't a deck you can build. There is in fact I think it's Pietra, Crafter of Clowns, who is a good clown commander. She's technically not legal because she is an uncard. Her effect is okay. Haste. Robots you control get +1/+1. Right? Tell a joke you haven't told this game to someone outside the game. Create a 1/1 white clown robot creature token. If the person left, that token gains haste till end of turn. Clown Tribal is a thing.
Look. No, it literally makes you tell a joke.
Yep. It is an uncard, so uncards with Acorn effects do that sometimes.
Okay. It's giving me the same energy as like you have 7 countries put away the game.
Yeah, that's Unfinity for you. That's an uncard for you. But here's a proper legal clown from Duskmorn.
Right, okay.
So this is the other kind of clown, the scary kind.
Jolly Balloon Man.
Also, yes, balloons are a creature type as well that was introduced in Unfinity.
Yeah. At this point, you could tell me every dog breed is its own creature type, and I'd probably think, yeah, that sounds about right.
Well, there is a difference between hound and dog. Don't know why. I think they errated it at some point to make all hounds dogs, but sure.
What if they're German Shepherds? Pomeranians a separate creature type, or are we doing that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't worry, we also have Walrus as a creature type.
There are many Walrus cards?
There is one. There is one creature that has the 2 types Giant Coward. This is why
Giant Coward, not just Coward.
Giant that's also a coward,
Giant
yes.
Coward.
So Coward is a creature type, and this guy's a Giant Coward.
Okay.
We recently got Rabbit. We have Jellyfish as a creature type for some reason.
Okay, well, I think I found a second Walrus card. It's just
Walrus.
called the Walrus. Don't know what set it's from. It's just called the Walrus.
Amazing. We have clam folk.
Okay, right.
We've got what else is there? Trying to find other weird, really strange ones. I know there was raccoon was added in Bloomborough. Don't know why they added raccoons, but
Okay.
it's funny.
Oh my goodness.
Detective is a class slash
Ah.
creature type, which was added in Murders of Karloff Manor. Sorry, this is a
That
bit.
says something very interesting about Wizards of
Yeah,
the Coast. They don't think detectives are people.
yeah. Beeble is a creature type.
Beeble?
I'll show you what a Beeble is. This is a Beeble, apparently. Sorry, it's a cyborg Beeble, which is also another different weird type.
You know, that is not at all what I thought a Beeble would look like.
Oh,
Why is it blurry?
this is wearing glasses.
Okay. Okay.
Nymph is a creature type, despite the fact that they really could
Then
be elementals.
you see, that's relatively normal compared to what you've just shown me. I can accept nymphs.
Yeah. What else is there that's really stupid? Minion is a creature type. For some reason.
With like yellow minions or like
Like goon minions, I
old word.
guess. Yeah.
Right, okay. Oh yeah. I had to ask, wasn't sure with magic.
What else is there that's really bizarre? Oh, yeah, child is a creature type.
Again, children, not human.
No,
Magic.
this particular child is human. Don't mind the fact they have half power and toughness. Unsets were weird.
Little girl, huh?
Yep. Just his human child.
What?
Child is
Wait.
also now a
Half.
legal creature type because we have Blorbian. I think it's Blorbian Buddy, who is
Wait,
a
so it's
legal.
half. So it's a half three. What?
Yeah.
What even stat is that?
Yeah, it's a little bit weird, isn't it? It's a bit strange.
It's not even an effect. It's just a weird. It's just a human child with half attack.
Yeah, that's unsets for you. They are not designed to make sense.
All right. Yeah, I think if they were going to do like going to do an Eye of Argon set, you could just put it in that. It would fit in perfectly.
Ah, here we go. Minotaur
Oh,
child guest. Guest is also a creature type, by the way. And this is an
yes.
actual playable legal card.
Okay. What do you mean?
Um,
Child guest.
Gamer
Like
is also a creature
stickers are
type that is
involved
now
in.
legal.
Wait, stickers are somehow involved in this deck.
Yep, there's
What?
stickers. Stickers are a legal mechanic in Magic from this set.
This
There are
card
there
game
are
has dice
specific
and
stickers.
stickers
Yep,
now.
yep.
Have you
Uh,
ever seen played against somebody using this?
I've never
You have
played
to
with
know.
stickers because I wanted to put them on like sleeves so I could reuse the stickers.
Okay.
But yeah,
The
here's a
most
human
dangerous
gamer.
gamer.
Here's a human gamer.
The most dangerous gamer as well.
Yep.
Was any old gamer
Gamer was
in a
introduced ages and
fairground?
ages ago in one of the first unsets, but this is the first gamer that is actually like playable, legal in all formats. Well, except
That's so.
standard, obviously. And I don't think mono.
They just port the weird ideas to this format.
Yeah. They were just like, hey, here's a stupid idea. Gamer as a creature type. Let's make it a thing.
In three weird categories at once. That will do it.
Yeah. Hilariously, Alien is kind of was a weird creature type at the time, but obviously now since we've had others, we got this new set coming out, it's not quite so weird anymore because we're gonna get aliens
But
in the new
compared to
set.
if they made a guest at the creature type, that's not that weird.
Yeah. There's also a creature type called Surikar.
Right.
I'm not sure what they're supposed to be, but I guess they have like I don't even know what is going on here, to be honest. I think they're
Does it
like
look
weird,
evil in any way?
this is what they're supposed to look like. I don't know.
Ah.
It's like some weird early magic idea that they never really went back to.
Oh. Okay. It's like a weird blind troll thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a little bit unusual. Elk is a creature type, specifically elks.
What?
I don't know why. Don't know why elks aren't beasts, but elks are elks.
This is what Wizards of the Coast actively thinks about the world in my
Yeah.
head now.
Brushwag is a creature
Children aren't
type.
human. Detectives aren't human.
Yeah. So this little guy became a beast, and then recently they re-errated it again to be a brushwag, so they could make this guy.
Oh, that's definitely a brushwag. I don't know what one looks like, but that's apparently what I'm just going to assume a brushwag is.
Yeah. They're like hedgehogs, but not hedgehogs.
Hedgehogs
Also, because
without
of
the
the
back
Sonic
legs.
decks, obviously, hedgehog is now going to be a creature type. They decided to make hedgehog a creature type because of the thing. Fox was
Of course.
already a creature type, but fox is also a creature
Oh,
type.
I have to know how these
Yeah.
decisions get made. Sam.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Like,
I don't
beast to
know.
sit. Is it? Their beast cards are sitting right there. I think. Why are
Yeah,
they?
this is my thought. But then this coming from the same people that decided to make spacecraft a different card type to vehicle.
And I actually think now I know this, it makes so much sense why they thought that spacecraft aren't vehicles.
Yeah.
They think children aren't. They think detectives aren't human. So
Sloth is a creature type. I kid you not.
okay,
Sloth is a creature type. So you got Hungry Mega Sloth, who is a sloth beast, by the way. So beast is literally right there, and they decided to also make it a sloth.
just put sloth on the bolted on the just to be sure. All right.
Another weird one is we have spirits, but we also have wraiths, and we have shades.
I don't got those confused. Hey.
Yeah, so it's like
Oh,
it's like we have
that's quite cool.
shades,
Kind of like that guy.
wraiths, and spirits, all of which are supposed to be different things somehow. Not sure why.
As ghosts, which I'm assuming are entirely different as well, right? Uh,
Horrors are also none of those.
okay.
We have archons, which I
Okay
don't know
then.
what an archon is supposed to be. I guess they're like a weird celestial beast-looking thing. Oh, of course, we have Fedelgriff. We have Fedelgriffs, of course. So this is a Fedelgriff. I don't know why it's a Fedelgriff, but that's a Fedelgriff. Don't ask what a Fedelgriff is, but that's one of them.
Oh, I love how they've gone with the weirdest possible spelling for that too.
Yeah. Goat is a creature type, which also isn't a beast.
It's definitely not a beast. Don't get confused.
Yeah, there's some very, very weird. We have serpents, which aren't leviathans, because leviathans are leviathans.
Right?
Figure that one out.
Implies that this, but and also not beasts. They're not beasts. Also, so okay, right. I think need like a chart to understand the logic of this.
We have boars, which also aren't beasts.
Oh, of course, boars are not animals.
And we have atogs, which aren't goblins. So this is an atog. This is what an atog looks like.
Oh. Okay.
And
It,
this is the Atog with his family, of which their king
oh, I'm so.
So, Atogs are things that eat things that are weird. One of them eats time, for example. And the Atog, their, I guess, chieftain, eats Atogs. Don't think about it too much.
What?
Yeah. So, Atog
This,
eats artifacts, Chronotog eats time, the red Atog, I think, eats enchantments. Yeah, it's weird.
I worked through
Auratog
some
eats
stuff when they
enchantments.
made these.
Yeah. Psychotog eats cards from your hand. Lithatog eats lands, and Foratog eats specifically forests. Don't know
Oh,
why.
it's you know what the Atogs are. It just hit me. It's the Ojamas before they were even the concept.
Oh my goodness! You're right. They're just weird Ojamas. Oh, except well, I mean, this
So,
guy. I mean, look at Psychotog. By the way, look at this guy. This guy is actually
just like
freaking
weird,
terrifying.
very brightly coloured people. Uh, oh, he's devious. That's actually devious.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what they're supposed to be based on, but they're very
I
weird.
need to look at the history of magic cards apparently because there's some weirdo stuff in there.
Some very, very strange things in Magic. These are the kinds of cards they tell you not to worry about.
But I'd worry if that showed up at my doors, I'd be very concerned.
Yeah. And I'll do
You know,
one more. There is literally a creature type called Weird.
oh,
Yeah,
no,
this is a
why
weird.
not? But yeah, he is weird. I agree.
I guess it. I
Frostburn
don't know
wishes.
why they're called weirds. I guess because it's like hybrid elementals is like what a weird is. So they're living oxymorons, I guess, or live. Yeah, because frost shouldn't be able to be hot. Yeah, like they shouldn't be able to be hot and cold at the same time because they should cancel each other out, which is why it's weird, I guess. And all the weirds are like that. They're usually like blue or red blue that do weird things.
They certainly do.
Don't know why, but yeah.
I now have desire to make the most cursed possible magic deck.
It's just all different creature types, but only the weird ones.
Sloth weird. I'm going with, I think.
Ooh.
No, what? Yeah, that's. I need to research whatever wizards have been smoking for the last 30 years. Um, yeah,
So
yeah, that sums that
uh,
up.
on
What with the
that,
wheel?
very yes, the wheel. Before
Yes.
things get too
Speaking of weird,
weird.
weird stuff on here, sloths and boars are not in on here, so we're good. Um, well, that's appropriate. We landed on summer,
Hey, nice.
just summer.
So
Um,
next
that's some
episode will
broad.
be the beach episode, I guess. Joke.
Yes, we'll be filming from the beach. Um,
Every one of our homebrew creatures so far will be dressed in
oh,
bikinis.
but
Even the
I
strange
don't want to
ones.
imagine any of that.
It's the bunch of
An
weird,
accordion.
creepily
With it,
monsters.
how would they even?
An
I got to think about
accordion
logistics of that.
man with a sagging two-piece.
Oh, I didn't mention that. Uh, there's a character that's meant to be like clearly some busty lady called her name's Carthena, I guess. But she describes having sagging nipples,
Yeah, it's a bit bizarre.
but not the. This is a typo, not breast, breets, broad breets,
Breeds.
but wide breets and sagging nipples.
As you do. Okay, so on
Yep.
that weird note,
That note.
so next week we will be doing a summer themed homebrew. And
yeah.
we will see you next time. I'm going to select the raid target. Everybody get in the goose. Get in the goose? Yeah, just get in the goose.
The goose. We've hollowed it out.
We've hollowed it out. We're going to raid Ghosting by, who is not a spirit or a shade. Or a
Was he a race? Or a horror, maybe?
She's not a horror. She's blessed, I think. She's blessed, I think. Here's the raid message below, and we shall see you guys in the next issue. Yeah, issue. We certainly have issues here of the Byzantian Brewscast.
With the world's first print podcast.
First to print podcast. Yeah, going backwards. Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been Chaotic Shakespeare.
Numbers are dear Dev.
And we'll see you guys on the table. Yeah. We'll see you guys on the table. That sounds weird, actually. We'll see you guys on the tabletop. That doesn't make things better. Moving swiftly on. See you guys next week. It's on the tabletop.